Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm finally going to be sharing with you guys the highly requested how to make effective revision/study guides. I'm going to be specifically talking about the three methods that I've been using, which are revision booklets, one-page summary, and online notes. If you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss out the rest of my back to school videos. Now let's get started. So the first method is called a revision booklet, and I got this idea off of Study Collab. I stumbled across that video about a year ago and I thought it was really useful, so I finally tried it out for myself. I will link their original video in the description box below, but I'm more or less just showing you guys how I've adapted it to my own needs. The class I am using this method for is for biology. Right now I'm just showing you an overview of how my first topic turned out. One thing I do want to mention is that it is quite time consuming because you do have to physically tape each of the sheets together, and it may or may not be the greatest idea if you're in a time crunch. Anyways, what you will need to complete this booklet are just these index cards or flashcards, and the ones I'm using are the 4x6 plain front and back. You can for sure choose the type of paper and the size that suits your needs, but these were just the most convenient for me. Now to put the revision notebook all together, you will need some washi tape or tape in general, as well as scissors, a black pen, and any color of your choice. And my personal choices were washi tape from Muji, the 0.5 retractable black pen from Muji, and basically Pilot frictions and a bunch of mild liners. On top of that, you want to grab your textbook or any other resources that will help you in the making of your notes. Since these are revision notes, you should have at least class notes or textbook notes you've taken as additional references. For me, along with the textbook, I've got my syllabus, an online version of my notes, textbook notes, as well as flashcards I've made during the year. And now let's move on to how to make the title/front page of your revision notebook. The supplies I'm using are the regular chisel tip mild liner, brush mild liner, and a Pentel Fuda Touch pen. So first, I am just using the mild liner brush pen to write down the topic number of the unit I will be taking notes on, which for this one is topic 3. Immediately below that, I will use the Pentel Fuda Touch to write down the unit name. And lastly, I will do a little table of content of each of the individual sections that are part of the bigger unit. And I will finish it off at the end by drawing a box around the table of content using the thin end of the mild liner. And so that's pretty simple for the little title page. Now we're on to the final stages of constructing the little notebook. So I find this quite confusing to explain. I've tried to explain it a couple times now while recording this voiceover, but I think it's better just for you to watch. Essentially, you're going to take an additional sheet of flashcard, you're going to line up the edges, put the flashcard together, cut off the excess, and that's pretty much it. Now as you fill up each of the pages, you're going to use this same method to add more flashcards. And now onto the note-taking portion. So I'm writing this based off my syllabus. I will highlight whatever application I am doing, copy the exact application into the notebook, and underline it with the highlighter of the color scheme. So I employ the same method of note-taking for this and my usual notes, which I have a video about linked below, so I'm not going to go in depth. However, I do pay extra attention to the specific things I'm writing down, making sure that this set of notes is the most concise. So I couldn't really figure out a good way of demonstrating and showing you guys how I put this set of notes together, so I thought I'd include a little time lapse of when I did my topic 1 study guide. Now here are a few points I like to follow by, and that is to use as much diagrams as I can. If I can replace an entire paragraph with a diagram and some annotated notes, I will do that. Additionally, using a wide variety of different colors for your diagrams are also helpful when you do come back to review that set. As I always say, it's almost like trial and error. The more you do it, you will eventually find out what works and doesn't work. Moving on, the second method of revision that I personally use are these one-page summaries. I personally don't use this for biology, geography, or any of the context-heavy classes. Instead, I like to use this for chemistry where there's a mix of example and conceptual understanding. The method itself is really not hard to explain. It's literally putting different sections in specific boxes. This one is far more useful than the previous one. If you're on a time crunch, all you will need are just A4 blank pieces of paper and pens of your choice. I would personally stick with A4 regular size paper just so it forces you to condense your notes. To start, you just want to write the unit number as well as the title of the unit on the top left-hand corner. Then you can add any highlighting colors of your choice if you'd prefer. Now the problem I find with making this video is that it's really hard for me to tell you what to write down. The furthest I can go is to show you how I take notes, as well as just the general structure of the revision guides. Now for this one, I'm doing it for chemistry, so I'm still basing it off the syllabus. However, I've chosen not to copy the specific line that it provides. Instead, I just write my own little titles. Essentially, every box covers a little bullet point that is provided on our syllabus. I will make sure to separate the example questions from the conceptual understandings, which is why I've chosen to do this method for chemistry. Now, when I took this exact set of notes the first time for my class last year, it took at least 3 to 4 pages, and now I'm able to just do a front and back of this one sheet. And again, just like the last one, I've included a little time lapse which will show you how I formulated and put this entire set of notes together. Now, as you watch me complete my chemistry study guide using the one-page summary method, I'm actually going to start introducing the next one. And the third method that I'm going to cover today is using an online note-taking system, which is like Word document, Google Docs, OneNote, etc. It's always said that writing things down is much more better than typing things. However, some days I just really don't feel like writing, so I've devised this little system of how I would make revision guides on my computer. I've just pulled up this set of notes on Google Docs for biology, and this is actually on the same topic as I was making the revision booklets for. As for online notes, since I do type a lot faster, usually it does end up with more information than when I'm writing revision guides. However, one thing that I always try to focus on is by adding a lot of pictures. Aside from the pictures I would make the effort to draw for my written study guides, I would add additional pictures which are really hard to draw in real life, but since I do have access to Google, I can just paste it in, and having those pictures really helped me with certain understandings. And so as I finished scrolling through the set of notes, I want to mention again that my note-taking system is exactly the same for all of these 3 methods. The few things I would call out to be different are definitely the structure as well as what I'm specifically focusing on. For example, my written revision guides are fixated on trying to get it as concise as possible. Meanwhile, my online version is more or less just using as many pictures as I can to help me understand the concept to the best of my abilities. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you won't miss out more of my back to school videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!